O chosen one, in the sacred moment between light and darkness, a divine calling resounds from the farthest reaches of the universe. This is not a coincidence, but a design etched into the heavenly scrolls long before your feet touched this earth. Every pain you have endured, every hope you have nurtured, has led you to this very moment, the moment where destiny awaits your response. It is no accident that your soul now senses subtle tremors beneath the surface. Thoughts grow deeper, emotions weigh heavier. This is because your spirit is beginning to discern the signal, a stirring within declaring that something is about to shift forever. Now before you lie two paths, one that will lead you into alignment with your divine destiny, and the other into the looping labyrinth of illusion and shadow. Every smallest action in this moment will ripple through the entire stream of your fate, echoing far beyond what your eyes can presently see. Even now the forces of light are paving the way while the forces of darkness weave interference, sowing doubt, luring you off course. And yet neither side forces your hand. It is you who must choose by your own free will. In the midst of this noisy sea, I see within your soul a flicker of light, small but unquenchable. Know that this light is the deep knowing placed within you by divine intention. Remember, this moment is not merely a choice for today. It is a turning point that shapes your whole existence. From these small steps, vast rivers of truth will flow, and maps of destiny will be drawn for your soul's journey. Therefore, you must respond to the question, how shall I answer the light within me? The moment has come. The decision is yours. O chosen one, the world you inhabit is not some arbitrary land, but a realm laced with traps veiled beneath the glittering mask of progress and prosperity. Each day, each breath, your soul is surrounded by invisible forces, by subtle voices, cloaked in deceit, by enticing promises that are ultimately hollow, and by roads that appear to lead to peace, yet descend into the depths of confusion. This world is not merely a stage, it is a maze constructed by unseen hands, governed by powers that know how to dress falsehood as truth and how to make illusions appear as worthy pursuits. In such a setting, deception does not arrive with a roar. It comes silently, cleverly, like a gentle breeze that stirs the veil of reason. At first, it nudges you to accept the smallest of compromises, little shortcuts in integrity, minor bargains with conscience, whispered excuses like just this once. Then through these tiny cracks, distortion seeps in deeper, dimming the original light that was once so clear within your soul. It begins to make you question yourself, to cast doubt on your purpose, and slowly convinces you that the sacred is just a distant fantasy, unrealistic in this calculated transactional world. Remember that the deception of the world does not always come in a fierce and terrifying form. On the contrary, it often wears the sweet cloak of comfort and safety. It whispers to you that you should not take the risk of believing in the unseen, that you should cling to what is visible, measurable, and controllable. It tells you there is no need to pursue greatness, that settling for less is a wise choice. And if you are not vigilant, these whispers will become the silent rules governing your life, a life that never reaches the true potential your soul was born to fulfill. O chosen one, this world knows exactly how to make you forget the voice within. It lays before your eyes dazzling signs of material success, images of fame and recognition, neatly packaged standards, labeled as formulas for happiness. It defines your worth by external things, by possessions, by status, by relationships, and the applause of others. But behind all those vibrant layers lies an emptiness that defies description, a longing that cannot be satisfied by anything this material world has to offer. Deception does not stem from the overwhelming strength of this world, but from your forgetfulness of your true essence. When your soul forgets that it was born of light and nourished by divine will, that is when deception finds ground to take root. Separation does not begin with grand catastrophes, but with the small, quiet moments when you turn away from the light, when you choose safety over faith, convenience over righteousness, silence over truth. Deception also leads you to search outside of yourself for things that can only be found within. It urges you to chase after relationships, to fill the ache of loneliness, to pursue success, for affirmation, to accumulate wealth, to purchase a sense of security. But every external search ends in disappointment, because what your soul truly longs for is something the world can never give: the reconnection to the one who created you. Amid the noise of the world's many callings, you may begin to sense faint yet persistent whispers from the light within. These come in moments when you suddenly feel empty in the midst of a crowd, when success suddenly seems meaningless, when laughter loses its taste in your heart. Do not be quick to bury these emotions beneath new distractions. Pause. Listen, for it is in these fragile cracks that the true voice is reaching out to you. Know this: the deception of the world may be strong, but it is not invincible. When you begin to recognize it, when you learn to distinguish the clamor of the world from the whisper of your soul, you have already begun the journey home. I know that this path is not easy. It requires courage to walk alone, faith to move forward in darkness while trusting a light you have yet to see. But my child, the reward of that journey is nothing less than true freedom. Freedom from illusion, freedom from entanglement, freedom from the artificial emptiness the world so cleverly displays. O chosen one, remember, deception holds power over you only when you permit it. But when you awaken to the truth that you are a spark of divine destiny, a flame that cannot be extinguished, then all these illusions will vanish like morning mist under the rising sun. And from the rubble of hollow dreams you shall rise stronger, brighter, and more real than ever before. My child, amidst the chaos and commotion of this world, there is still a gentle whisper echoing within your soul, a calling that no noise of this earth can silence. It is the voice of the Creator, soft yet fierce, never ceasing in its invitation for you to remember who formed you and why you were sent into this world. That whisper does not compete with the clamor around you. It simply waits for you to listen. It does not impose, it does not shout, but it remains ever present like a faithful heartbeat in the deepest chambers of your spirit. Never forget that the whisper within your soul is the affirmation of your unshakable worth. In moments when you feel small, lost, or dismissed by the world, that whisper reminds you that you are loved unconditionally, not for what you produce, but for who you are. When you stand at the crossroads of difficult decisions on the fragile line between right and wrong, that whisper becomes your compass, pointing you toward the path of faithfulness, even if it is narrow, even if it is lonely. My child, this whisper may come in many forms. Sometimes it's found in a passing breeze that carries an inexplicable peace. Sometimes it seeps through the kind eyes of a stranger, a random act of compassion, or a moment of stillness in the midst of a busy life. Sometimes it's simply the quiet knowing that there is something greater calling you, reminding you that what your eyes can see is only the surface of a far deeper reality. Yet this whisper can easily be overlooked. For this world, with all its noise and relentless pace, is designed to make you forget the subtle, the sincere, the sacred. It floods your mind with opposing voices, the voices of fear, of greed, of desire, and insecurity. These voices scream clamor and fight for attention, pushing the divine whisper into the shadows of your soul unless you intentionally guard it. If you do not make time for silence, if you do not pause to listen, you will easily confuse the world's noise with the whisper of the Spirit. Still, to discern this whisper, you must step into true stillness. Not the artificial stillness of avoidance or escapism, but an inner silence, where your worries, your cravings, and your distractions are laid down and your bare soul stands before the Creator. It is a stillness that sharpens your spirit, that allows you to perceive that in every heartbeat, in every breath, there is a message of love and guidance constantly being sent your way. Know this: when you begin to recognize and trust the whisper, you will witness transformation in your life, not loud or dramatic, but steady and enduring. Decisions that once paralyzed you with hesitation will become clear. Relationships that drained your soul will begin to fade. Superficial ambitions will give way to deeper, more meaningful pursuits. Not because the world has changed, but because you have. Because you chose to listen to the whisper of truth rather than the noise of illusion. O chosen one, there may be times when you question the very whisper I speak of. You might wonder whether it's merely the product of your imagination or a passing wave of emotion. No matter what, remember this: the whisper is patient. It does not take offense at your doubt. It does not abandon you when you turn away. It remains waiting for your return, waiting for you to choose trust once more. Know that the whisper carries with it divine promises. Promises that you are not alone, that you are called to live a life beyond the limitations of this world, that your purpose is not merely to survive but to shine, to become a torch that lights the way for others still wandering in the dark. To allow that whisper to become a true lighthouse in your life requires intention. You must actively seek it each day in the stillness before dawn, in the moments when you gaze at the starry sky, in those times when you kneel in prayer with a sincere heart. Each time you pause to listen, you are strengthening the sacred thread that connects you to the eternal source of light. Understand this: not every battle reveals itself plainly before your eyes. Some enemies lurk in the shadows, silently observing your every step, every thought, and every hidden longing of your soul. These enemies do not always appear with a terrifying form, nor do they rely solely on forceful confrontation. Instead, they hide in the deepest corners of your mind, cloaked in seemingly harmless illusions, dressed in garments of innocence and charm. But regardless of their disguise, their aim is singular: to divert you from the light, to sever you from the divine origin that formed you. The enemy in the dark knows that your true power does not lie in outward appearance, social status, or personal achievements. He knows your strength is rooted in your unwavering faith and your deep connection with the Most High. That is why he doesn't attempt to destroy you with crude violence. Instead, he chooses a more cunning strategy, planting seeds of doubt, fear, and inadequacy in your heart. If left unchecked, those seeds quietly take root, sprout, and grow into towering walls that separate you from the truth. One of the enemy's most familiar tactics is to prey upon your sense of insufficiency. He whispers that you are unworthy, that you will fail, that you are not good enough to be used by the divine. He spins narratives around your emotional wounds, twisting them into counterfeit evidence of the helplessness he wants you to accept as truth. And if you do not recognize this deception, if you do not stand firm upon the foundation of truth, you will begin to agree bit by bit until those lies become the distorted lens through which you see yourself. The enemy in the shadows also knows how to exploit exhaustion and despair. He waits for the moments when your spirit is most weary, those sleepless nights, those long days when hope seems to fade. In those fragile moments, he does not hesitate to whisper that all your efforts are in vain, that your prayers go unheard, that your faithfulness is nothing but a mockery. He sows into your heart the idea that giving up is the only path to escape the pain. O chosen one, the presence of the enemy is not a sign of your failure. It is evidence of the value of your soul. He does not waste his efforts on those who have already surrendered, who have drifted into darkness. He only pursues those who still carry within them a burning spark, those whose destinies are poised to bring great impact to the kingdom of light. The enemy's attacks, though silent and subtle, are confirmations that you matter, that your choices hold weight in the battle between light and darkness. To face the enemy in the shadows, you cannot rely solely on human willpower. You must arm yourself with spiritual weapons: truth, faith, righteousness, peace, and the word of the divine. Every day, every moment, you must intentionally clothe yourself in the armor of light. For the battle is not only waged out there, it is fought within every thought, every inward decision you make. Recognize that the enemy will never arrive in the form you expect. He is not always an open adversary, nor does he always come through violent disruptions. More often, he slips in through small compromises, moments of self-indulgence, and the quiet dismissal of your conscience's whisper. He approaches through enticing opportunities that require the cost of your integrity. He creeps in through relationships that pull your soul downward instead of lifting you higher. No one is immune to the schemes of the enemy. Even the most faithful hearts must stay vigilant. But do not be afraid, for the light within you, the light that comes from the divine, is more powerful than any shadow. When you choose to stand firm in truth, when you choose to believe in the holy promise rather than the deceitful whispers of the liar, you have already stepped into victory before the battle even begins. Remember this: the enemy only has power when you believe his lies. When you refuse to listen, when you turn away from the darkness and face the light, you shatter his plans, not through loud declarations, but through quiet steadfastness, not with violent rebellion, but with persistent faith. O chosen one, stay alert. Keep both your mind and heart anchored in the light. For you were not called merely to survive this battle, but to triumph gloriously. And when the light within you blazes bright, no enemy lurking in the shadows can hide you from heaven's view. In this journey toward the light, you will not only face enemies concealed in darkness, but also a more subtle threat lies disguised as truth. These are not ordinary lies, they are masterfully woven, mixing just enough truth to confuse you and just enough deception to derail your soul from its appointed path. Falsehood never comes in crude form. If it were obvious, it would be easily exposed and rejected. Instead, it cloaks itself in reason, in counterfeit compassion, in seemingly noble intentions. It threads fragments of truth into its design just as one might drop poison into a clear glass of water undetectable until it's too late. Once deception seeps into your awareness, it begins to erode the foundation of truth within you. At first, it may cause you to ask small questions. Is that really so? Perhaps I've misunderstood. And from these small seeds of doubt, it burrows deeper, slowly but surely constructing new frameworks of reasoning. Frameworks that sound just, appear benevolent, yet drift far from the sacred root. Remember this: the most dangerous disguise of a lie is found in what appears to be good. It does not entice you to step directly into darkness. Rather, it gently suggests that surrendering a bit of integrity serves a greater cause, that compromising truth ever so slightly is necessary for a noble end. It offers soft justifications for deviation, convincing you that the means justify the end, that light can blend with darkness and remain untainted. Sacred truth never needs to rely on deception to endure. It does not require decoration, nor does it need to be adjusted to seem more appealing. Truth stands complete and unshaken in its purity, even when the world turns its back on it. Whenever you find yourself defending an action with questionable reasoning or trying to convince yourself that a small compromise is acceptable, pause and ask, is this the fullness of truth or merely the illusion of it? Lies often hide behind what feels familiar and safe. They whisper that you should hold on to old habits, cling to former relationships, or remain rooted in outdated values even when those things no longer serve the growth of your soul. Lies attach your emotions to what you were meant to release, making you fear, change, and resist the unknown, even though it is in that unknown where the true light waits for you. In those moments, the voice of truth may seem faint, barely audible, beneath the seemingly reasonable noise of lies. But if you are still enough, and if you have the courage to face yourself honestly, you will discover this one unshakable fact: truth always brings freedom. Lies, no matter how beautifully worded or widely accepted, will eventually leave your soul heavy, anxious, and unsettled. O chosen one, do not measure truth by appearances or weigh it according to the approval of the crowd. Truth does not cease to be truth when it is no longer believed, and lies do not become truth simply because they are embraced by the majority. In a world filled with illusions, you must learn to see beyond the surface, to perceive the true essence of things by the light that has been placed within your soul. To discern truth from deception, you must stay near the source of light. Let your soul be immersed in the sacred promises, in the eternal words that do not shift with time. Train your mind to resist the allure of what seems most pleasing, and instead test all things against the wisdom that comes from above. More than anything, you must learn to listen to the heart that has been aligned with your divine purpose. That heart will tremble in the presence of lies even before your intellect can recognize them. That heart will come alive in the presence of truth, even when that truth demands that you confront difficult realities. Beloved, the enemy lurking in shadows will never stop using deception and disguise to draw you away from the path. But the light within you, placed there by heaven, will never go out unless you choose to abandon it. Keep that light burning. Let it illuminate your decisions, your relationships, your journey. And remember, every time you choose truth over a lie, you are not only protecting your soul but also pushing back the darkness by expanding the kingdom of light in this world. In this invisible war that surrounds you, darkness is not the only threat you face. The real danger often lies in subtle compromises, in lies that sound comforting in peace that is false. These are the arrows aimed at your soul each day. But do not fear. You are not defenseless in this battle. You have been given spiritual weapons crafted not merely to defend, but to conquer. And your first and greatest weapon is truth. Not the shifting truths that change with culture or convenience, but the eternal truth that flows from the heart of the Most High. This truth is not just knowledge, it is the foundation that keeps your soul anchored through every storm. When you are saturated in this truth, even the most intricate deceptions cannot shake you. When truth becomes your internal compass, you will no longer be misled by false lights or persuasive voices that only lead you astray. Next, you have the shield of faith. Faith is what keeps you steadfast even when your eyes cannot see the way forward. It enables you to walk on the waters of fear, to cross the deserts of doubt, and to climb the mountains of challenge. When the fiery arrows of deception come flying, the shield of faith will intercept them. When darkness tries to engulf you, faith ignites like a flame that burns away every trace of doubt. Then comes the weapon you hold, the sword of the Spirit, which is the word of the Most High. This is not a physical sword, but a living, active instrument, sharper than any two-edged blade, capable of piercing through every disguise of darkness. When you declare divine promises, when you confront lies with the word of the Most High, you are not only shielding yourself, you are also driving back the forces of darkness. Every promise you hold onto, every scripture you engrave upon your heart, becomes a powerful strike of the sword in your hand. O chosen one, remember this: among your spiritual armor, the helmet of salvation is indispensable. It signifies that you have been redeemed, that you belong to the light, and that your destiny is no longer in the hands of darkness. This helmet protects your mind from the most subtle attacks, the whispers of sin, shame, and condemnation. When you wear salvation upon your head, you do not walk in guilt, but in the authority of the one who has been forgiven and declared righteous. Do not forget the shoes of readiness to proclaim the gospel of peace. These are not only a symbol of your willingness to share the good news with the world, but also the capacity to stand firm in peace amid every storm. When you wear these shoes, you will walk without panic, without haste, without faltering in the face of shifting winds. Peace becomes the solid ground beneath your feet, keeping you from falling into the pits of confusion and fear. My child, every piece of this armor is not merely symbolic. It is a spiritual reality ready for you to wield. You must fasten the belt of truth tightly around your waist. You must lift the shield of faith high whenever you face doubt. You must practice with the sword of the Spirit by immersing yourself in sacred teachings. You must wear the helmet of salvation to guard your mind against unseen assaults. And you must walk in the shoes of peace so you can remain unshaken through every attack. One of the greatest secrets to victory is perseverance. Darkness does not give up after one defeat, and therefore neither must you ever let down your guard. Clothe yourself in the full armor of light every single day. Even in seasons of calm, for the most silent battles often arise when you are least prepared. O chosen one, when you put on the full armor of the Spirit, darkness will not be able to overtake your soul. The craftiest schemes will unravel. The most enticing lies will be exposed. And you will not merely survive this battle, you will overcome it gloriously and eternally. You will see, after wandering through the maze of deception and camouflage traps, that the call to return to the truth will resound within your soul like a bell ringing in the darkness. It is not merely a summons to turn away from the shadows, but an invitation to step boldly into the radiant brilliance of eternal truth, where your soul is healed, cleansed, and restored to its original essence as divinely ordained. Truth is not an abstract notion or a philosophical concept to be debated or compromised. Truth is a living entity, the very breath of the Most High, infused into all of creation, the unshakable foundation upon which all things were formed. When you return to the truth, you don't just find answers to your deepest questions. You recover your soul that had been buried beneath the dust of doubt, fear, and fleeting ambition. Know this: the journey back to the truth is not always easy. It demands the courage to face what you once avoided. It requires the humility to admit that you believed in falsehoods, that you had strayed from your divine course. It asks for an open heart willing to receive correction and the necessary pruning so your soul can bear new lasting fruit. Yet no matter how painful the process may be, it always leads to true freedom, the kind the world cannot give and certainly cannot take away. My child, returning to the truth also means letting go of the justifications you once used to soothe yourself. It means removing the masks you wore to meet the expectations of others, to be accepted, to be loved. Choosing truth is choosing to step out of the roles assigned by the world and into the light of the one who has known you since before you were formed in your mother's womb and who loves you with a relentless, unconditional love. Perhaps you fear that by standing in the truth you will lose the acceptance of others, the comfort of what is familiar, the illusion of safety. But my chosen one, remember this: anything that must be maintained by distancing yourself from truth is unworthy of the noble soul within you. For it is only in truth that you truly live, truly breathe, and truly become whole. Truth will gradually expose the things that once held you spellbound, the hollow promises of happiness, the empty metrics of success, the relationships built on falsehoods. All of these will be laid bare under the unrelenting light of truth. And though this exposure may bring pain at first, it will mark the beginning of real resurrection. Because only when all that is false is cleared away can your soul be filled with what is lasting and holy. O chosen one, know this: every step you take closer to truth is a step closer to the one who created you with a grand purpose. Truth is not only a path, it is the person who stands with arms open, ready to embrace you in grace, to wipe away the dust of your journey, and to set you on your feet stronger than ever before. You will come to realize that as you live in the truth, the burdens you once carried will begin to lift. You will no longer need to uphold illusions, no longer fear exposure, no longer hide behind masks. You will breathe more freely, walk more confidently, and love more genuinely, because you are no longer bound by the lies the world imposed on you. Truth will also open your eyes to discern who is friend and who is foe, who truly walks with you in your sacred journey. It will allow you to build connections founded on authenticity, respect, and unconditional love relationships, not governed by fear, manipulation, or selfish gain. The journey back to truth is not a single event, but an ongoing process, one that unfolds with every passing moment. Each day and every hour, you are invited to choose truth, not just in the grand gestures, but in the quiet spaces of your mind, in the subtle nuances of your words, and in the seemingly insignificant decisions you make. Each time you choose what is true, you are not merely making a moral decision, you are reinforcing an unbreakable bond between your soul and the eternal source of light that never fades. O chosen one, never forget that in a world saturated with illusions and distractions, to live truthfully is already an act of tremendous bravery. Truth is not always convenient, nor is it always celebrated, but it is the only compass that can safely guide you through the storm of confusion. Let it be the lighthouse that leads you through crashing waves of doubt. Let it become the firm foundation on which you build your dreams, shape your choices, and cultivate your relationships. And believe this: when you live in truth, you are not only rescuing your own soul, you are playing a vital role in pulling this fractured world closer to the brilliance of divine light. Choosing truth does not mean stepping into ease and comfort. Often it means standing like a flickering flame in the middle of a dense, dark sea where the night seems overpowering and all-encompassing. But do not let this intimidate you, for it is in such overwhelming darkness that even the faintest glimmer becomes radiant. It is in the times when the world appears to be most lost that your presence as a bearer of light becomes not just significant but absolutely essential. Understand that the light within you was never meant to be hidden or kept for yourself. It has been entrusted to you as a sacred flame meant to guide, awaken, and lead others toward hope and clarity. Because of that, it must be strong enough not to flicker under the pressure of fear, ridicule, or isolation. The darkness will attempt to suffocate it with whispers of doubt and waves of rejection. There will be moments when you feel entirely alone, as if the world around you has surrendered to compromise and deceit. Yet remember, light does not need to be loud or vast to be powerful. Its strength is in its presence, and when it stands, darkness must retreat. Every act of integrity, every word spoken in sincerity, every pure thought you dare to nurture becomes a beam that cuts through the thickness of night. You may feel your efforts are too small to shift anything meaningful, but just as a single spark can ignite a wildfire, your unwavering presence in the light has the power to revive others. It breathes life into hearts that had long given up, and it rekindles flames that had quietly burned out in the shadows. Do not be surprised when darkness pushes back. The spaces that have grown accustomed to shadows rarely welcome the arrival of light without resistance. You may be misunderstood, rejected, even targeted for standing in truth. But rather than seeing these reactions as failure, recognize them as signs that your light is real, potent, and making a difference. Darkness does not react to what does not threaten it. It only rises in opposition when it senses something that carries the weight of eternal significance. As you continue to walk in light, you will begin to see with new clarity. What was once hazy will begin to take shape. People, intentions, and realities that were once obscured will become unmistakably clear. The light will expose the lies the world so expertly concealed and reveal the hidden agendas behind words coated in charm. This unveiling may hurt it, may even shatter your illusions, but it will also liberate you, because only in seeing the truth fully can you make choices that lead to real freedom. O chosen one, there will be seasons when the light within you does not immediately change the landscape around you. You may still find yourself walking through valleys veiled in shadow across barren places that seem untouched by light. In those moments, resist the temptation to believe that the presence of darkness signals the failure of your flame. On the contrary, it is in those very places where the endurance of light is tested, refined, and ultimately proven unshakable. Do not seek validation from the darkness. Do not crave recognition from forces that have sold themselves to illusions. Instead, seek to remain faithful to the light, regardless of what your eyes may see or your ears may hear. Keep the lamp within your heart burning by continuously connecting with the eternal source of light. Through prayer, through meditation, and through living each day with gratitude and humility, you will fuel that flame so it never dies out. Know that your light will also become a refuge for other souls groping in the night. Many will not have the courage to ignite their own flame, but they will come to yours searching for hope, for comfort, for direction. Do not underestimate the power of your influence, even if you cannot see its immediate effect. Every soul that is touched, every heart that is lifted, is a priceless victory in the kingdom of light. O chosen one, remember that you are not the origin of the light, but merely a humble clay vessel that carries it. So do not be afraid when you feel weak, or when the flame within you flickers in the face of contrary winds. It is the Most High who ensures that flame never goes out. Your task is simply to keep your vessel open, ready to receive and reflect the light He has placed within you. And do not measure the strength of the light by the standards of the world. It is not in grand performances or noisy crowds that the light proves victorious. True triumph comes through quiet faithfulness, through steadfast endurance in the smallest of moments. One truthful word in a world of lies. One act of love in an ocean of hatred. One silent forgiveness in a culture of vengeance. These are the daily miracles the light performs through you. Do not forget that the light within you is not meant only for a moment, a season, or a short-lived mission. It has been entrusted to you for the entire journey, for the span of your earthly life, until the day your mission is complete and you return into the embrace of the one who sent you. So walk forward even if darkness surrounds you, even if the road ahead remains unclear. Keep walking, carrying an unquenchable flame to illuminate, to guide, and to rekindle hope in a world that is weary, waiting for the emergence of faithful children of the light. O chosen one, no journey toward the light is complete without passing through the valley of fear. Fear is the hidden shadow creeping into every corner of the mind, whispering warnings of failure, loneliness, and loss. It murmurs that you are not enough, that you will be rejected, that your efforts will bring only pain. But chosen one, if you let fear take the throne, it will imprison your soul, freeze your steps, and bury the sacred mission that the Most High has breathed into your heart. The journey beyond fear does not begin with outer strength, but with the quiet courage within. Courage is not the absence of fear, but the will to move forward in its presence. Every time you choose to step out instead of shrinking back, every time you choose to believe rather than doubt, every time you choose to love instead of closing your heart, you win an invisible battle, though the world may never see. Beloved, fear will try to convince you that safety is the highest priority. It will invite you to retreat, to shrink back into familiar zones of comfort where risks are few, but so is life. Remember, you were not created to live confined. Your soul was designed to expand, to soar, to reach for heights the natural eye cannot imagine. I know there is a truth that fear never wants you to discover. Its power only grows when you surrender. When you rise, when you look it in the eye and refuse to be ruled by it, fear begins to dissipate like mist beneath the morning sun. Fear cannot dwell in a heart filled with faith. And faith is not a fleeting emotion, but a steadfast choice, a decision to trust the one who called you, to believe that He is faithful even when your circumstances have yet to change. My beloved, the journey beyond fear will lead you to new thresholds. places where you will be invited to step out of your comfort zone. It may mean leaving behind a secure job to follow a divine calling. It may mean ending a relationship that drains your soul. It may mean speaking up for truth when everyone around you remains silent. These steps are never easy, but with each act of courage your soul expands, and the light within you shines a little brighter. Along that path, your every step is escorted by an invisible army of light. Quiet prayers, faithful tears, sacred promises all surround you and uphold you in every moment of battle. When you feel yourself trembling at the doorway of the unknown, close your eyes and sense this. The one who formed you stands right beside you, holding your hand, whispering, "Do not be afraid, for I am with you." Do not treat fear merely as an enemy to be vanquished, but as a teacher to be overcome. Every fear is a door, and if you have the courage to pass through it, you'll find on the other side a land that is wider, freer. Instead of fleeing, ask your fear, "What are you here to teach me? What hidden lesson lies within this unease?" In doing so, you transform fear into a stepping stone, not a stumbling block. In a world where many are bound by fear, fear of failure, fear of pain, fear of rejection, your courage becomes a beacon. Not a boastful courage, but a quiet resolve, a heart that stands firm even when your legs tremble, a faith unshaken even when tears fall. Your courage does not need to shout to be powerful, it simply needs to endure. Understand that the journey beyond fear is also the journey of learning to trust. Trust that every step, no matter how small, has meaning. Trust that every closed door leads to another that is better. Trust that even in failure, you are moving closer to your divine purpose. Trust that grace is always greater than your mistakes and that love is always stronger than despair. O chosen one, as you learn to walk above fear, you become the very person the Most High envisioned when He breathed life into you, a warrior of light, a bearer of heavenly glory, a soul no longer chained by any power of darkness. So walk forward even if your legs still tremble. Walk forward even if the winds of doubt howl within. Walk forward because every step you take is a declaration to heaven and earth that you belong to the light, that fear no longer reigns over you, for you are the chosen one. You will come to hear a calling that echoes from the deepest places of the universe, transcending every distance, every barrier, every noise of this world. It is not a loud summons, nor one that overpowers your daily thoughts, but an eternal call, resonant, persistent, patient, and so powerful that even when you try to ignore it, it continues to resound within your heart. This is a call that cannot be denied, for it is woven into the very essence of your soul and bound to the original purpose for which you were created. This call is not an invitation to an easy life. It does not promise straight paths nor guarantee that doors will swing open instantly. On the contrary, it beckons you onto a journey that demands courage, faith, and the surrendering of self. Yet it also offers something no earthly glory can rival: the deep satisfaction of knowing you are living in alignment with the reason you were created. My beloved, this call awakens in you longings that cannot be explained. It ignites within you a fire at times, no more than a faint flicker in the darkness, yet it never dies out completely. When this world leaves you disillusioned, when material success feels empty, when fleeting pleasures no longer satisfy, that call rings out more clearly than ever, reminding you that you were made for something greater, deeper, and eternal. O chosen one, perhaps you have tried to ignore that call before. Perhaps you have drowned yourself in noise, distractions, and goals imposed by others, hoping the voice would fade. But wherever you go, whatever you do, the call follows silently, faithfully, not to condemn, but to remind, not to control, but to wait, not to bind, but to set you free. This irresistible call is an invitation into abundant life. It does not merely call you out of darkness, but calls you into intimate communion with the Most High. It bids you lay down the heavy cloaks of fear, shame, and self-doubt and take up the light garment of grace, truth, and freedom. It urges you to lift your gaze from the trivial toward the wide and wondrous horizons your Creator has drawn just for you. Responding to this call will demand sacrifice. You will need to let go of what is good to receive what is better. You must exchange convenience for fulfillment. You must be willing to step into uncharted territory where every step requires trust more than certainty. Yet the reward for those who dare to respond is immeasurable. It is the fullness of joy, the satisfaction of a soul made whole, the unbreakable connection with the one who knows you most deeply. You are called to be a torchbearer for others. Answering the call is not just about your own redemption, it is about becoming a bridge for lost souls to find their way back to the light. As you walk in obedience, your light will illuminate dark paths that others cannot navigate on their own. Your courage will awaken courage in weary hearts. Your perseverance will inspire those on the verge of giving up. You are also called to be refined, for the call will usher in seasons of pruning storms that strip away hardness and pains, that purify, making your soul more pliable in the hands of the Creator. Do not fear this process, for it is through this refining that you are equipped to step deeper into the journey of restoration and transformation. Remember this, that irresistible calling is a declaration that your life is not an accident. You are not the product of coincidence or mistake. Every detail of your life, from the smallest joys to the deepest heartbreaks, is being woven into a miraculous story. The story of a courageous soul who heard, who responded, who journeyed through darkness to step into the kingdom of light. Listen closely. Let that calling sink deep into your bones, shaping your dreams, your choices, and your every step. And respond not only with words, but with your entire life. Because once you truly do, nothing in this world can stop you from becoming the person the Most High envisioned from the very beginning. O chosen one. There are moments in life when choices reach far beyond temporary consequences. There are decisions that do not merely shape a season or a chapter, but define an eternal destiny. You are now standing at such a crossroads, a juncture, where your choice will echo not only in the present, but also in the depths, where your soul will continue to journey in the place where the currents of personal history and cosmic purpose are woven together. This is no longer about everyday decisions like what to wear, what to eat, or where to go. This is a foundational choice to choose light or darkness, faith or fear, to live for a divine purpose or surrender to the mediocrity of the world. Every moment in life is significant, but there are moments that carry the weight of eternity. Moments when all of heaven holds its breath, waiting for a nod, a decisive step, a whispered yes from the depths of your soul. Perhaps you can feel the gravity of this moment. A pressure rising within, not from external forces, but from the innermost core of your being, where you know that something eternal is suspended on the edge of your decision. Do not fear this pressure. It is proof that your soul is still alive, still awake, still aware of the eternal value engraved within you by the Most High, O chosen one. An eternal defining decision cannot be built on fleeting emotions. Emotions may rise and fall like waves beneath the wind, but true choices must be anchored deeper in faith, in the knowledge of your true nature and the one who called you. Do not let the fear of failure, the anxiety of loss, or the lure of short-term gain cloud your vision. A moment of surrender to fear can lead to years of regret. But a moment of courage to walk by faith can unlock doors of grace and victory beyond anything you have ever dared to imagine. Such a destiny-shaping choice begins in the quiet place within. It does not require fanfare, nor the approval of the crowd. It happens in the sacred silence between your soul and the Creator. It is the moment when, despite the chaos around you, you whisper, "I choose you. I choose truth. I choose the path you have laid out for me, though it may be narrow, steep, and challenge every instinct of self-preservation within me." A decision like that will demand perseverance. Because after you choose, there will be days of testing. There will be days when darkness whispers in your ear that you made the wrong choice, that you should have taken the easier road. But remember, truth does not change just because the journey gets hard. Divine purpose does not shrink just because you feel weary. What you chose in the light, do not doubt when you walk through the dark. Know that the support for your decision does not come merely from your personal strength, but from the strength of heaven itself. When you choose to stand with the light, the armies of angels align themselves beside you. When you say yes to the divine calling, a supernatural force begins to surge through your soul, filling you with courage, wisdom, and resilience to fulfill the mission entrusted to you. This is not a solitary act. It is a sacred partnership between your obedience and heaven's power, between your willingness and the eternal purposes of God. In truth, the choice you make today carries far more weight than you can presently see. It will draw new boundaries in the spiritual realm and unlock gates of grace not only for you, but also for those connected to you, your family, your community, and even souls you may never meet. A single faithful decision today can ignite a ripple of miracles unfolding across generations and reaching into eternity. Your yes may become the catalyst for healing, for restoration, for deliverance in lives yet to be born. For this reason, you are not simply choosing for the present moment, you are choosing for all of eternity. Do not allow the temporary allure of fleeting temptations to blur the radiant beauty of eternal glory that is prepared for you. Choose with boldness. Choose with an unshakable faith. Choose with a heart of love for the one who chose you before the foundations of the world were laid. And once you have chosen, walk forward with a steadfast spirit, knowing that your decision, whether made in silence or through tears, has been seen and recorded in heaven. And one day you will hear the tender voice of the Most High declare, "Well done, good and faithful servant. Enter into the joy of your master." O chosen one, when the decisions have been made, when the battles have been waged in the silence of your soul, the victory of light will arise, not as the thunderous applause of the world, but as the gentle yet unstoppable rising of the dawn. After a long night, this triumph does not belong to those who chose the path of least resistance, but to the brave hearts who dared to remain faithful, who dared to trust, who dared to persevere to the end. It is a quiet glory that cannot be measured by earthly standards, but one that heaven itself celebrates. The triumph of light is not defined by fame, fortune, or power, as the world measures success. True victory is found in the sacred space within, where your soul rises in freedom, where your heart beats in harmony with divine will, where you are no longer held captive by fear, deceit, or the grip of darkness. It is the victory of truth over deception, faith over doubt, and light over shadow. And when that light prevails, you will see with holy clarity that every tear you shed, every sacrifice made in secret, every step taken in the darkness was never wasted. They have become the precious stones set into the eternal crown prepared for you, a crown that no one can steal, that no circumstance can tarnish. All the pain you endured for the sake of righteousness, all the rejections you bore because of your loyalty to the light, will be exchanged for joy beyond measure. Your triumph will stand as testimony to the world that darkness, no matter how fierce or loud, can never conquer a soul rooted in truth. Light does not win by shouting louder, it wins by enduring. It wins by refusing to be extinguished. It wins by continuing to shine even when it shines alone. When you triumph in the light, you become a living landmark in the realm of the Spirit, a testimony that faith is not in vain, that belief still has the power to move mountains. You become a living witness to those who are weary, and collapsing, a sign that the path of faithfulness, though difficult, ultimately leads to unfading glory. The triumph of the light does not make you proud, but draws you into deeper humility. For you will understand that it was by grace that you stood firm, and by divine love that you did not give up. You will bow your head not in defeat, but in overwhelming gratitude. You will look back on the journey and see that the Most High walked beside you every step of the way through the sunlit days and the stormy nights alike. But the triumph of the light carries with it a new commission. For true glory is not in personal enjoyment, but in becoming a beacon for other souls. You will be sent forth like a lamp placed on a hill, not to hide, but to shine. You will be called to lift up those who have fallen, awakened souls still asleep, and reignite the flame that has burned low in hearts that have lost all hope. Know that your triumph will also transform how you perceive the world. No longer will you be enticed by its fleeting glamour, nor tremble before the threats of darkness. You will walk through this world with a peace that cannot be shaken, with a freedom that cannot be chained, and with a love that holds no condition. For you will have come to know deep in your soul that light always wins. O chosen one, rejoice for the moment you chose light over darkness, every decision made in faith. Every step of courage that took you beyond your comfort zone began constructing your own victory. Even if you cannot yet see the full picture, believe that beyond every trial, beyond every tear, there awaits for you an unshakable kingdom. Now that the pages of your journey have begun to unfold, now that the footprints of your soul have been etched along the path of light and truth, pause for a moment and breathe deeply in the holiness of this hour. You have heard the call, faced the darkness, battled, believed, and chosen the light, even when the world screamed the opposite. And because of that, you are no longer the same. Something has changed in you forever. A sacred fire has been lit not to burn you, but to purify, transform, and illuminate the steps of many other souls still groping in the night. Once ignited, this fire will never be extinguished. Beloved, know that the path ahead will still hold challenges. Darkness will still whisper, still lay traps. But now you are different. You have learned to discern truth among 1,000 lies. You have been equipped with the weapons of light. You have stepped beyond fear. And above all, you now know you are never alone. You are wrapped eternally in the love of the one who chose you from the very beginning. So walk forward, O chosen one. Walk with bold feet, with a heart unshaken by fear, with a soul filled with quiet joy, because every step you now take is not just for yourself, but for the countless souls watching your path. Every act of faithfulness, every truthful word, every courageous decision you make will weave a tapestry of light stretching across this earth. Always remember, there will come a day when you stand before the Most High, and you will not bow your head in regret, but smile with a heart at peace, because you ran the race with faithfulness, because you held firm to your belief, because you fulfilled the mission entrusted to you. And in the eternal radiance that never fades, you will hear His voice resound warm and strong. Well done, my child. Enter into the joy that never ends. Right now shine, triumph. For I see the glorious light of eternity waiting for you. Subscribe and turn on notifications to receive living words, build unwavering faith, and walk in the boundless love of the Lord. Amen.